ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्रीमेधा दक्षिणामूर्तिस्वामिने नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। नमस्ते once again everyone.
Namaste Guruji.
Namaste Guruji.
Is
Namaste,
my voice
Guruji.
clear? Is there any background sound in my voice?
Nothing.
No Guruji. Perfect.
Very good.
Perfect.
Very good. Okay. I hope it stays like that. Okay. Let us chant the sixth mantra and also that portion of Bhashyam which we started in the last class. Yat tad adreshyam
Yattadadreshyam
Adreshyam
agrahyam
Agotram
agotram
Avarnam
avarnam
Achakshusrotram
achakshushrotram
Tadapanipadam
tadapanipadam
Nityam Vibhum Sarvagatam
Nityam
sarvagatam
Susukshmam
Susukshmam
Tadavyayam
tadavyayam
Yadbhutayonim
yadbhutayonim
Paripashyanti Dhiraha.
paripashyanti.
Now we will go to that portion of Bhashyam which we started last class. Achakshusrotram
Achakshushrotram
Chakshuscha Srotrancha
chakshushrotram
Nama Rupa Vishaye
namarupa vishaye
Karane Sarva Jantunam
karane sarvajantunam
Te Avidyamane
te avidyamane
Yasya Tadachakshusrotram
Yashrotram
Yaha Sarvajnyaha Sarvavit
yaha sarvavit
Ityadi Chetanavatva Visheshanatvat
ityadi chetana
I didn't get it. Ityadi
Chetanavatva
chetanavattva
Visheshanatvat
विशेषणत्वात्
प्राप्तं
प्राप्तं
संसारिणां संसारिणाम् इव
संसारिणामिव
चक्षुश्रोत्रादिभिः
चक्षुश्रोत्रादिभिः
करणैः
करणैः
अर्थसाधकत्वम्
अर्थसाधकत्वं
तदिह
तदिह
अचक्षुश्रोत्रमिति
अचक्षुश्रोत्रमिति
वार्यते
वार्यते
पश्यत्यचक्षुः
पश्यत्यचक्षुः
सः
सः
शृणोत्यकर्णः
शृणोत्यकर्णः
श्वेताश्वत्तरो उपनिषदे
श्वेताश्वेतरोपनिषत्
इत्यादि दर्शनात्
इत्यादिदर्शनात्
किञ्च
किञ्च
तद् अपानिपादम्
तदपाणिपादम्
कर्मेन्द्रियरहितम्
कर्मेन्द्रियरहितम्
इत्येतत्.
इत्येतत्
Very good. Thank you. So, after briefly dealing with Aparavidya in the sixth mantra, the Acharya is dealing with Paravidya. That is, in the sixth mantra, he is dealing with Paravidya. Aparavidya he dealt with in the fifth mantra and earlier mantras. So here he is dealing with Paravidya by describing the features of the subject matter of Paravidya, which is Akshara Brahman. And Acharya uses several adjectives to describe the nature of this Akshara Brahman. Of this, we have already discussed Adreshyam, Agrahyam, Agotram, and Avarnam. And in the last class, we were discussing the Bhashyam of Achakshusrotram. So Bhashyakara explains that Achakshusrotram means the one which is without eyes and ears. So Akshara Brahman is not having eyes nor having ears, unlike other living beings, which have eyes and ears as instruments through which they gain knowledge of names and forms. Because even we also gain, knowledge of names and forms through eyes and ears only. But such instruments are absent for Akshara Brahman. Very simple. You can just say it doesn't have and then leave it at that. But then there will be one question. Bhashyakara himself raises that doubt, a possible doubt, and dealing with it. And the doubt could be, why is it said that Brahman does not have eyes and ears? Because such possibility doesn't arise. Till now, we have never talked about Brahman as a person, nor are we going to talk about Brahman as a person. Brahman is consciousness. Then how come the mantra is saying that Brahman doesn't have eyes and ears? Because there is a rule in the Shastra. What is obvious need not be specifically stated. What is obvious, if you specifically state, then that is a dosha, a defect. Prasaktasya pratishedaha is the rule. So the question is, why negate the eyes and ears in this manner? Bhashyakara is a Dirghadarshi. He justifies such negation keeping in mind a mantra which will come later. The 9th mantra of this section, where it will be said that Akshara Brahman is Sarvajnaha and Sarvavit. And as we have seen earlier, Sarvanya means one who knows everything in general. And Sarvavit means one who knows everything specifically. So generally, knowledge, whether general or specific, is gained mainly through eyes and ears, as I said. Of course, the other instruments like nose, tongue, skin also give us knowledge. But mainly the eyes and ears are used by all living beings to get knowledge of the names and forms. And therefore, when we learn that Akshara Brahman is Sarvanya and Sarvaveta, we may erroneously understand that Brahman has got eyes and ears through which knowledge has been gained. So, in order to negate such a misunderstanding, Bhashyakara says that it is necessary to specifically state that Brahman does not have eyes and ears. And this is the reason for such negation. And Bhashyakara goes one step further. He says not only in this Upanishad, in another Upanishad also, there is such a negation. Shweta Ashwatthara Upanishad. There also, Paramatma is described as he sees everything without having eyes. There it is said, Pashyati achakshuhu, saha shrunoti akarnaha. So, without having the eyes, Paramatma sees. Without having the ears, Paramatma hears. And Bhashyakara says, because such statements are seen in the Shastra, in the Upanishads, this particular Achakshu Shrotra means indicating not having eyes and ears, and it needs to be stated specifically to avoid even the remote possibility of a misunderstanding. All right. What is the meaning that Paramatma is seeing without eyes and hearing without ears? There are various ways to understand. One is Paramatma or Brahman, by its mere presence, illumines the object. When the word is obtained in the vritti, Shabdakara vritti, that is illumined by Paramatma, who is consciousness. And therefore, Paramatma, by its mere presence, is illumining everything, whether it is Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, and Gandha. So the final illuminating light comes from Paramatma alone. Even in Kathopanishad also, such a statement is there. By his light alone, everything is shining. Tasya bhasa sarvamidham vibhati. Everything becomes evident because of that consciousness only. And consciousness does not have to do the job of illumining. Consciousness does not have to use the instrument to illumine something. Consciousness illumines everything by its very presence itself. Like even the sunlight or the electric light does not have to do the job of illumining the objects. Light doesn't have to use some instrument to illumine the objects. By mere its presence, things are illumined. Similarly, everything becomes evident because of the presence of consciousness. And that is why it is said, without using eyes, Paramatma is seeing. Without using ears, Paramatma is hearing. At the individual level, we can say Atma is seeing. It means Atma is illumining the forms. Without using the ears, Atma is illumining all the sounds. Any sound becomes evident finally because of consciousness. Therefore, it is said that Atma does not use any instrument. Because if Atma requires to use the instrument to illumine something, then there will be a problem. What will be the problem? So Atma gets the knowledge of sound with the help of ears. Suppose let us assume Atma has got ears. So Atma gets the knowledge of sound with the help of the ears. So the sound is evident because of the ears which are taken as instrument. So the question would be, first of all, consciousness is illumining the sound only because of the ears. At the same time, the consciousness has also to illumine the presence of the ears also. So how will consciousness illumine that? Is it that the consciousness is illumining the ears without the help of other organs? Suppose you say consciousness is illumining the ears with the help of some other ears. Then the question would be, what about those ears, the secondary ears? How those are illumined? And suppose you say by a third set of ears. Then the question will continue. What about the third set? What illumines the third set of ears? So it will go into an infinite regression. We will never ever be able to reach the end. One question will always remain. And therefore, we have to stop. Everything is illumined by consciousness, but consciousness does not use any instrument to illumine. And that is why, in some other Upanishad, it is said, consciousness is the ear of the ears. It is the eye of the eyes. It does not have the eyes of its own. It does not have the ears of its own. Therefore, consciousness, Akshara Brahma, is illumining everything by its very presence itself. So now the next question is, Kincha tad apanipadam karmendriya rahitam ityetat. So we have completed Achakshu Srotram. Now we are going to Apanipadam. Kincha means moreover. Tad refers to Akshara Brahma. Is Apanipadam. Literally, Apanipadam means that which does not have Pani. Pani means hand. That's why marriage is called Pani Grahanam. In our marriages, our traditional marriages, South Indian marriages, the marriage is signified by a particular karma where the groom holds the wife, the bride's hand. The bride hand will be like this, and the groom will be holding, and they will go take Saptapadi and do the Pradakshinam of the Agni also. That is unless you take Saptapadi, the 7 steps together, holding the hand, marriage is not consummated, it is not complete. So Pani means hand, and Padam means legs. So Akshara Tattvam is free from hands and legs. It has no hands, no legs. And hands and legs stand for all other karmendriyas. It is a upalakshana. Therefore, Bhashyakara says, Akshara Tattvam is free from all karmendriyas. Karmendriya Rahitam. Earlier it was said karmendriya abhishayam. Now karmendriya rahitam. So it is neither the object of karmendriya nor it is the subject of karmendriya. Subject of karmendriya means the operator of karmendriya. So Akshara Brahman is free from both. Now we will read the next section of the Bhashyam. I think we have completed the Bhashyam up to this, right? Let me just check. Yeah. Karmendriya Rahitam Ityetat. Okay. Now next section of the Bhashyam we will read. Yata
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 evam agrahyam
evam
evam
agrahyam
agrahyam
agrahakam
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 cha
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 ataha
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 nityam avinashi
nityam avinashi
avinashi
vibhum vividham
vibhum
vibhum vividham
brahmadi
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 stavaranta
tavaranta
avaranta
pranibedaihi
pranivedaihi
Pranivedaihi
bhavati iti
Bhavati
iti
iti
vibhum
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 sarvagatam vyapakam
sarvagatam
Sarvagatam
vyapakam
Vyapakam
akashavat
akasavat
Akashavat
susukshmam
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 shabdadi
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 stulatvakarana
Stulatatvakarana
स्थूलतत्कारणत्वात्
rahitatvat
रहितत्वात्
Rahitatvat
shabdadayahi
Shabdayahi
akashavayuhu adi
आकाशवायुः आदि
Akashavayu
akashavayuhu adinam
आकाशवायुवादीनाम्
Akashavayu
uttarottaram
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 stulatvakaranani
स्थूलत्वकारणानि
Stulakarani
tad abhavat
Bhavat
susukshmam
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 kincha
किञ्च
tadavyayam
तदव्ययम्
Tadavyayam
uktadharmat eva
उक्तधर्मात्
Dharmat
uktadharmatvat deva
उक्तधर्मदेव
navyeti
न व्येति
ityavyayam
इत्यव्ययम्
Yavyayam
nahi anangasya
न हि अनङ्गस्य
swangapachaya lakshanah
स्वाङ्गचयलक्षणः
Lakshana
vyayah sambhavati
सम्पत्ति
sharirasya iva
शरीरस्य इव
napi kesha napi
नापि
keshapachaya lakshanah
केशापचयलक्षणाय
vyayah sambhavati
व्ययः सम्भवति
ragnya iva
राज्ञिव
napi
नापि
गुणद्वारकः
पुनर्नरकः
व्ययः सम्भवति
Vyavayasambhavati
अगुणत्वात्
अगुणत्वात्
सर्वात्मकत्वाच्च
Sarvatmakatvacha
यद् एवं लक्षणं
Lakshanam
भूतयोनिं
भूतयोनिं
भूतानां कारणं
भूतानां कारणं
Karanam
पृथिवी इव
पृथ्वी इव
Stavara Jangamanam
Parajangamanam
Paripashyanti
Paripashyanti
Sarvataha
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 Atmabhutam
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 Sarvasya
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 Aksharam Pashyanti
Aksharam
Aksharam
Pasyanti
Pashyanti
Dhiraha
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 Dhimantah Vivekinaha
Dhimanta
Dhimanta
Idrisham Aksharam
Idrisham
Idrisham
Aksharam
Aksharam
Yaya Vidyaya
Yaya Vidyaya
Vidyaya
Sa Para Vidya Iti
Sapara Vidya iti
Samudayartha.
Samudayartha.
So this is the completion of the Bhashyam of the sixth mantra.
Guruji, I have Adhigamyate in my textbook.
Sorry, Vidyaya Adhigamyate. Correct.
Ah,
Vidya
Correct.
Adhigamyate.
I think I missed it. Idrish Aksharam Yaya Vidyaya Adhigamyate.
Adhigamyate.
Sa Para Vidya Iti Samudayartha.
Okay.
So I think I missed that Adhigamyate. Okay.
Sapara.
Sometimes reading the whole Bhashyam, I get tired. So the next word in the mantra is Nityam. And Bhashyakara is introducing this word by giving a brief Sangati. He says, Ataha Nityam Avinashi. So Brahman is Nityam. Nityam means what? Here Nityam means indestructible. That which cannot be destroyed. Of course, we know generally Nityam means permanent, eternal, etc. So here permanent is in the sense of indestructible. Permanent is having the sense of neither birth nor death. But here Bhashyakara is focusing on Avinashi. Because by Agotram itself, it has been pointed out that Brahman is free from birth. And therefore, since that meaning of free from birth has already come, here Bhashyakara says Nityam means Avinashi, indestructible. And how it is indestructible? For that, he connects with what has been said so far. Yataha, since, evam, in this manner, agrahyam agrahakam cha. Akshara Brahman is not a grasper nor a perceiver. Cha means and. Ataha, therefore, Nityam Avinashi, permanent and indestructible. This is the simple word meaning. Now let us understand the idea conveyed. Here, Nityatvam, the status of being Nityam, eternal or permanent, is established by what has been said so far. Earlier it was said it is Adreshyam, means not available for Jnanendriyas. Agrahyam, not available for Karmendriyas. But the word Grahyam is a versatile word and it has got both the senses. Grahyam means that which can be caught hold of, held in hand. And Grahyam means that which is available for the sense organ. Indriya Grahyam. So Jnanendriya Grahyam and Karmendriya Grahyam, both are called Grahyam, graspable. Even in English also, the word grasp has got both the meanings. Catching hold of things and also the meaning of understanding or perceiving. Isn't it? We asked this question Did you grasp what I am saying? Means, do you understand what I am saying? So, agrahyam means it is not a grahaka. It is neither a holder nor a perceiver. And the word grahaka applies to both operations, jnanendriyas and karmendriyas, and therefore nityam. Now, all this looks very funny. How do we establish the connection between not being a grahaka and nityatvam? What is the logic? Were two different words, two different ideas. Here, what Bhashyakara says is that the logic is that whatever is grahyam and grahaka are anityam. See how his thinking goes. Being objects of perception and knowledge, being the objects which can be grasped, they are anityam, impermanent. Since Akshara Brahman is agrahyam, agrahaka, it is not anitya, but it is nitya. So here, one particular vyapti, one particular concomitance, vyapti means concomitance, is suggested. What is that? Yatra anityatvam tatra grahyam grahaka bhavaha. Wherever impermanence is there, the status of either being grahyam, grasping the object, or grahaka, the subject will be there. And since Akshara Brahman is neither the object nor the subject, therefore it is not anityam, which means it is nityam, permanent. And this can be seen in another manner also. That anything which is falling within time and space will be either grahyam or grahaka. And this Brahman is agrahyam or agrahaka, and therefore beyond time and space. It transcends the subject-object duality. In fact, time and space are within Brahman. Brahman is kalatitah, deshatitah. And therefore, it is nityam, avinashi. It does not have any destruction. So this is how Bhashyakara is justifying the word nityam as not destructible, permanent, eternal. So the next word is, sorry, anybody said something? So the next word is vibhu. Vibhu generally is translated as vyapakam, pervasive. But here also, Bhashyakara does not take that meaning because the next word is going to be sarvagatam, which also means pervasive. And therefore, in order to avoid repetition, he takes the meaning of vibhum as manifold. The one who is manifesting in a manifold manner. The one who is manifesting in various ways. And Bhashyakara explains vibhum as vividham brahmadi stavaranta prani bedaihi bhavati iti vibhum. The main sentence is vividham bhavati iti vibhum. That which becomes manifold. That which manifests as manifold is called vibhum. Bhavati means becomes or manifests. Vividham as manifold, variety of things, variously. it is called Vibhum. And why is it manifesting as manifold? Because we have already seen this Brahman, Akshara Brahman, is the Karanam of all. It is going to be said Bhutayonim. So it is since the call of all, especially the entire material world, the material cause of all, it is manifesting in the form of many things. Just as one clay, which is the material cause, is manifesting in the form of various pots, various earthenware, etc. Just as one wood will be manifesting in the form of many types of furniture, similarly, Brahman, which is the material cause of everything, is manifesting in the form of everything. And since it is the cause of all, it is manifesting in the form of all, and therefore it is called Vibhum. So here, when we say that Brahman or Aksharam is becoming many, Puja Swamiji says it is not like one person started being single. Afterwards, he got married and had children. Then he had grandchildren, great-grandchildren. And by the time he leaves this world, he will have a huge family surrounding him. So you can say one became many. So such an idea should not come. So Puja Swamiji says, it is not that Brahman was one Brahman and that he married Maya and then had children, so many things. So one Brahman became many. It is not like that. So it is not that Brahman has produced these objects like a father produces or a mother produces children. It is not like that, because then what will happen? His father will be different and children will be different. And by knowing the father, all children will not be known. Here we want to have something by knowing which everything should be known. We have already seen earlier. Poor father is very simple man, computer illiterate. And by knowing him, you cannot understand his IT graduate son. And therefore, Puja Swamiji clarifies that here one becoming many is not like a father, a person having many children. Nor it is that it has been one Brahman has now been transformed into so many things. If that is so, what will happen? Brahman will be no more. Isn't it? Suppose you take a log of wood and the entire log of wood you use it to transfer or transform into various pieces of furniture. So you have furnitures all right, but the log of wood has vanished. Similarly, Brahman is changed into, converted into all these objects in the world. All objects of the world will be there, but Brahman would have vanished. Like milk turning into curd. There will be no more milk. Irreversible process also. You cannot convert the curd back into milk. So once and for all, Brahman would have vanished. So if Brahman has become this manifold world, then Brahman will be no more be appreciated and can no longer be attained. So the moksha purushartha will have no meaning. So therefore, Brahman becoming many is not like milk becoming. Its products like curd, cheese, etc. So we have to understand. That's why Shastra goes into details and gives so many examples. clay pottery example, gold ornaments example, water, waves example. So many examples Shastra gives, so that we have this very firmly in our mind. Whatever change, whatever forms the Karanam takes, manifests, the Karanam is never destroyed. It always there, and it inheres in all the forms. And therefore, Brahman becoming manifold is like one lump of clay becoming many parts without losing its clayness. One wood becoming many furniture without losing its woodness. And that's why Puja Swamiji used to say, in a light way, when we say touch wood, we will not go in search of a log of wood, but being fully aware that the essence of furniture is wood, we would be touching any furniture like a chair, table, etc., on which we are sitting. There, even when we are experiencing the furniture, we are using the furniture, we are always aware of its essence as wood. In our mind, it is wood only. Such a beautiful example Swamiji gives. And in his, in his trademark humor, he says that if you use two expressions, oops and touch wood, that means you have been westernized. This touch wood and oops are not Indian. So touch wood is not there in Indian expression. In the West, if you ask someone, how are you? He will say, touch wood, I am fine. Whereas in India, we will say, by God's grace, I am fine. Has anybody unmuted? Because I'm getting some disturbance.
Hariji.
Hariji, please mute yourself. Because the problem is, if you are in the class and if you are not focusing your attention, it is getting diverted to some other things and you are having conversation, class is going on. You are having some conversation with somebody. And as your karma will have it, you would have unmuted yourself. Everybody will listen to the conversation. And the teacher also will get disturbed. His thought process gets disturbed. Anyhow, that's why I keep on requesting every time, but it keeps on happening every time. Please mute yourself. Only during the satsang session, when you want to ask a question, unmute yourself. That's all. So, as I was saying, in India, when you ask, how are you? You say, by God's grace, I am fine. So, Puja Swamiji used to point out, see the cultural difference. Of course, if you understand that wood is also a manifestation of Bhagavan, furniture is also manifestation of Ishvara, then there is no problem. By touching the wooden furniture, you are invoking God's grace only now. But you must get that mature level where you are able to see furniture, wood, everything as Ishvara, as Bhagavan, entire nature as Ishvara. And therefore, similarly, without losing the status of being Akshara one, Aksharam Brahman is appearing as manifold objects, and that is what is said here, Vibhum is equal to Vividham. Vividham means variously. And Bhashyakara explains Vividham as Brahmadi Stavaranta Prani Vedaihi, in the form of various. Veda. Veda means various or variety. Variety of prani, living beings. And for our understanding, we can add, and also in the form of various inert objects as well. So we can supply jada padarthaihi cha, prani bedaihi jada padarthaihi cha. So Brahmadi, starting from Brahman or Brahmaji, not here. Brahmadi starts from Brahmaji, the very first entity of creation. Up to Stavara, a plant. Stavara literally means immobile. But Stavara is used in the language to denote a plant also. Because plants are immobile. So, in the form of various living and non-living beings, starting from Brahmaji and up to a blade of grass, the Bhashyakara wants to show the contrast. Brahmaji, Hiranyagarbha is very huge, whereas this blade of grass is very small. So all small and big are nothing but manifestation of the same Brahman. And when we say Vividam Bhavati becomes manifold, we are using it in the sense of appearing as manifold, not that it is getting transformed into manifold. It appears as manifold without losing its essential nature. Now there can be an objection. Our ever-waiting Purva Pakshi is listening. He has not unmuted himself so that he misses some portion. Very carefully, the Purva Pakshi is listening. When Bhashyakara himself has said only Prani Bedaihi, you will ask, how can you add Jada Padarthaihi cha? Because that's what we added. But Purva Pakshi says, what gives you the license to add? If it was meant like that, Bhashyakara himself would have added. He will say appreciating Brahman manifesting as living beings is understandable because the living beings are sentient. And they are sentient with the blessing of consciousness, which is Brahman. But inert objects are not sentient. So how can we appreciate this Brahman to be everywhere in the form of everything, both living and non-living beings? So for that, we must remember the nature of Brahman, which is defined in the Shastra. The nature of Brahman is what? Sat, Chit and Ananda. The Chit or consciousness aspect lends sentiency to all living beings, whereas the Satta aspect, the existence aspect, is also the nature of Brahman. Existence alone, rather I would say pure existence alone, is manifesting in the form of all names and forms. And therefore, Brahman, which is Satswarupaha, of the nature of existence, is in the form of all Nama Rupas. All Nama Rupas are nothing but this existence in their essential nature. So, we are totally justified in adding that the transfer, so the manifestation is both in the form of sentient and insentient beings, living and non-living beings. The only difference is non-living beings, only Sat aspect is of Brahman is manifesting. In living beings, Sat and Chit aspect both are manifesting. Because for Chit to manifest, consciousness to manifest, there should be a capability in that being to reflect the consciousness. That capability to reflect the consciousness is not available in inanimate objects. Nevertheless, they are existing. That's why we say mountain is, tree is. For tree also we can count it as consciousness there. Mountain is, sand is, stone is. All are inanimate objects, but they are existing. So we are fully justified in saying that Brahman is manifesting both as sentient and insentient beings. Now the next one. Sarvagatam, Vyapakam, Akashavat. The text I have circulated, I don't know whether the word Akashavat, there's a full stop after. If it is not there, Akashavat, there should be a full stop. Okay, just add that. So add a full stop. Sarvagatam is explained as Vyapakam, all pervasive. Visheshena apnoti iti Vyapakam. Visheshena means completely. Apnoti, here we take the meaning as pervading. So that which pervades completely is Vyapakam. Like what? Bhashyakara gives the example Akashavat, like Akasha, space. So Brahman is pervading everything. And if you remember, while I was explaining the mantra, we had seen this idea. Generally, when we say something pervades something else, we imagine two separate entities. A good example is the mist that we experience early in the morning in winters, especially in hill stations. The mist hangs over everything. So we can say that early morning mist pervades everything, the mountains, the buildings, the trees, the roads, etc. Similarly, when we say that Brahman is pervading the entire world, and because of our orientation, we will think that Brahman is like the early morning mist, which covers everything that is visible to our eyes. And therefore, it is very difficult to find an example which can be described what all pervading means. But Bhashyakara takes the nearest example, Akashavat. It is not a complete example because Akasha is also a product of Brahman. So we cannot take Akasha as a complete example. In fact, no example can be complete. Brahman is the only example for Brahman. In Akasha also, as I said, there is a limitation. Some limitation is there. But then it is the nearest example. And it is possible to explain the pervasiveness of Brahman. In fact, Vibhutvam is the hetu, the reason for Sarvagatatva. So since Brahman is in the form of all, therefore all are non-separate from Brahman. All are not having their existence apart from Brahman. And that is called here as Brahman being Sarvagatam. It is something like, everything exists in space, we say. So we can say Akasha is Sarvagatam. But everything existing in space is not similar to everything not having their existence apart from Brahman. So we must carefully note the difference. Even though space inheres everything, it is not the essence of everything. In vacuum, there is no space. Whereas in the case of Brahman, it inheres everything in their very, it is their very essence. When we say something is, like the pot is, the computer is, the book is, that isness in everything is Brahman. These are all very subtle aspects of Advaita Vedanta, which we should very carefully understand. We must go through this again and again so that it gets settled in our mind. Like in the example of clay and pots, the clay being the cause pervades all the pots. Similarly, Brahman being the cause pervades all effects, all products, and that is called pervasiveness of Brahman. Like furniture does not exist apart from wood, ornaments do not exist apart from gold. Similarly, nothing being separate from Brahman, nothing exists apart from Brahman, and that is called Brahman being all pervasive. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi, Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva tena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. 4th chapter Bhagavad Gita. So Brahman is Sarva Ananyatvam. Ananyatvam means not being separate from Brahman, which is otherwise called Sarva Vyapakatvam, all pervasiveness. So Sarvagatam Vyapakam Akashavat. Now he takes up the next word, Susukshmam, and he explains Shabdadi Stulatva Karana Rahitatva. We all know Sukshmam means subtle, and Susukshmam means extremely subtle or subtlest. And why it is said it is subtlest? It is said Shabdadi Stulatva Karana Rahitatva. Being free from. Rahitatvat means being free from. Karana, the cause for. Stulatva, grossness such as Shabda, etc., such as sound, etc. So, being free from the cause for grossness such as soundness, etc. And what does this mean? It means that grossness is caused by the presence of qualities, guna, like Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, and Gandha. And this idea is very nicely explained by Bhashyakara in Kathopanishad. There, Bhashyakara says that grossness is caused by the presence of a quality. And the more and bigger the number of qualities, it will cause more grossness, more qualities, more grossness, less qualities, less grossness. So less grossness means more subtle. So the number of qualities is connected with the grossness. And this idea we have seen in Tattva Bodha itself. How from Brahman, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, and Prithvi are born. The grossest is Prithvi with 5 qualities, all Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Next one higher in a hierarchy is Apaha, 4 qualities. Then Agni, 3 qualities. Like that we have seen. So here Bhashyakara is bringing that idea, and he says that Shabda, etc., their existence is because of a particular quality. Since Brahman is devoid of all qualities, he is the subtlest. More we will see in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. धन्यवाद है everybody. Thank you very much.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Girish ji.
Hari Om Guruji, is there any specific reason why Brahman in this Upanishad is called as Acharya Brahman?
Different Upanishads give different names.
Oh.
So here the word uses Akshara, ultimately conveying the idea that it is indestructible. That is, you have to understand. That even when the entire pralaya comes, the whole universe becomes unmanifest. Brahman still exists.
Correct.
So in order to convey that idea, Aksharam Brahman is used.
Okay.
Just, there is no specific reason. Because if you take Brahman description, various Upanishads, various ways Brahman is described.
Okay.
Right. So Aksharam is one description. That's all. No specific reason.
Because all the Upanishads lead us to the Brahma Vidya.
Exactly.
That is the common. Yeah. So here, when we have specifically added that Akshara, then I thought, okay, is there any specific reason for
That is
that?
Acharya's
Okay.
choice. Acharya who is teaching this Upanishad, his choice of word Akshara.
Okay. Thank you.
That is all. Okay. Any other question?
Namaste, Guruji. Lata here.
Yes, Lata.
Guruji, just a very small clarification. This is regarding the last class. Of course, this was described in, this you had explained in the Tattva Bodha as well. It's the word Golakam. It is used for all the Jnanendriyas.
No, Golakam, not Jnanendriyas. Golakam are the things that these eyes are there, right?
Only the eyes, right? Anatomical,
anatomical
gross
eye.
part.
That is all anatomical ear, anatomical nose, mouth, all are Golakam.
So all are Golakam. Okay.
They're all Jadam. They have no power, no ability of their own. Indriyas are the faculties which are supporting
Guruji.
this and making them do their.
Yeah. And Atma is the one who.
Atma is powering the Indriyas to do that.
I took the little, I just wanted that small clarification because Golakam, because eyes are round, I thought the Golakam applies only to the eyes, I thought initially.
No. Golakam
all
means
organs
all anatomical parts are Golakam.
All the anatomical parts.
Hand is Golakam, fingers are Golakam, everything is Golakam.
Oh, even the Karmendriyas are called Golakam.
Karmendriyas are Golakam, everything. Legs is a Golakam.
Oh, and Karmendriya, all are Golakams.
Yeah. Because what we have to see, after death, what remains is only Golakam. Indriyas go away.
Yes.
Indriyas are part of Sukshma Shariram.
Yes,
so they will travel with the Sukshma Shariram to take another body.
Yeah.
So a dead body is left with only Golakam. That's why dead body can't see, can't hear, can't breathe, can't do anything.
Okay. I think I kind of.
But the anatomical things are still there. People, I have seen some very emotionally charged people. They will go and, the dead body is lying. They will go and whisper something in the ears. Oh, please forgive me. I've done so many things against you. So please forgive me. All that meaninglessly, that dead body is dead body. Even though ears are there, can't hear anything because the Indriyam was gone, finished.
I think my erroneous thing was I thought when I just took it as goal as round and then it referred to eyeball. Yeah. And on this thing, what you just mentioned, Guruji, I'm just sharing what I've heard from Sri Ravi Shankarji about when a person passes away, hearing is the last to disappear. So that's why they chant Ramanama or something in the ears, even though he is clinically passed away. Still, the hearing faculty is the last to disappear, is what they say. I'm not sure. I thought I'll just.
Have you
mention.
heard this fellow? What is his name? Yaar? Oh, पेर मत बता, नहीं, चल तुम्हें. That he's a very popular Kathavachak. This guy.
Sridhar.
Sridhar. Sridhar. What?
Uh-huh.
Dushyant Sridhar.
Dushyant Sridharji, yeah.
He says the first thing to go is hearing. Where there is
Oh.
some sound comes in the ears, and that is the indication of death
Okay.
arriving rather. So see,
Okay.
there are
And
various
that's not very
point is
significant
we must
here.
understand one thing.
Yeah.
We are not the audience of Sri Ravi Shankar or Dushyant Sridhar.
Yeah.
We are audiences for Brahma Vidya.
Yes.
For us, the only authority is Upanishads.
Yes, Guruji. Yeah.
Puranas are not authority. Itihasa is not authority. Even if, of course, it does not, even if Bhagavad Gita or any of these Smriti Granthas contradict the Upanishads or the the Vedas, then we will not take them also as authority.
Right.
As
Yeah.
long as Bhagavad Gita does not, the teaching of Krishna in Gita does not contradict what is taught in the Upanishads,
Mhm.
Bhagavad Gita is an authority for us.
Yes, Guruji.
So whenever we hear other people giving different, na buddhi bedam janayet ajnanam karma sangina. That's all.
Yeah.
Let them
Yeah.
believe, let people hear, because these acharyas are also very, very, they don't want to confuse people. So what they can understand, what they can hear, that is what they tell them. They themselves may be knowing what the reality is.
Yes, Guruji.
But then they've got an audience, of thousands of people,
Yeah.
tens of thousands they attend.
Hmm.
And they will tell what is required at that level.
For that, for that point of time, and that.
But you can't go and start teaching quantum physics in
No.
nursery class, isn't it?
No, Guruji.
Primary. That is what acharyas do, rather. They don't mix up things.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Hari Om.
Anything else? So we can close the session. No more hands are going up. Continue next week. Hari Om. Thank you all.